Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone, wherever in the world you day. And thanks for listening again. We are back on VOS Social Review. And thank you very much for listening and participating. And we today we get a distinguished guest, when a lawyer at the United States who's been practicing um, for since 1986 for 35 years. In practice, mostly was centered on well, we now can say plaintiff's lawyer. So now then lawyer they would file suit with the sue. So in practice for all the 35 years, for most of it was mostly accident, what can refer to as property and personal injury cases. So in that, then lawyer it will be the file then lawsuits them against people them against companies where the insurance companies they can come and defend because everybody will drive on the street of um, anywhere, any city in the United States, you're required to have insurance on the cars. So usually when you file a lawsuit, the insurance companies are obligated to defend you. So that alone give you an idea and a background of this gentleman in the sense that he always file lawsuits in the area of practice on personal injury matters. But in addition to that, they do medical malpractice claim. Well, medical malpractice, of course, as it implies, now where there is some uh, deviation from normal process in the medical field by mostly doctors, but people related, it could apply to nurses, it could apply to uh, doctor's assistant, it could apply to nurse practitioners, it could apply to the hospitals then for whom these people are working. So this gentleman also was one of those lawyers, and I can assure you, even me, Mr. Shillon, I've never done a medical malpractice because it's very, very, very heavy lifting, to picking job because American civil cases then you get for entails a lot of what you would call discovery process. That discovery day, I mean, you talk about thousands and thousands and thousands of documents. So now another field and they were Mr. The gentleman with the practice. So then in addition to that, he's been a county prosecutor, what we call backward SALONE state prosecutor or for prosecute cases. That usually prosecutors them, then they prosecute only mostly criminal matters. You're not going to do civil. When you commit crime, the prosecutor they work for the government. Now then they lay the case against you, and then you get defense attorney to defend you. And before that, since 1986, he started in career as a law clerk. Well, for the Supreme Court of Mississippi. Now, for we within at the profession, they become a clerk of state Supreme Court or federal Supreme Court unless you are top notch now you graduate in class. What Mr. Tarawali no, this lawyer who they introduced, is that I once meets a gentleman who was a dean of a law school, a classmate of Mr. Tarawali. He say, Mr. Tarawali graduates top notch, if not the first number one in class, then graduates in class in Mississippi. And so usually for you forget then clerkship na Supreme Court, state or federal level, you always have to be a very top-notch student who graduated high or among the top 3, 4 in your class. So Mr. Tarali fall in that in category there too. And so also, now when you do cases then, if you do appellate cases then, if you do cases of importance, we'll get what we call reported cases then. Cases then where you involve in, at the end of it, you make new law. So Mr. Tarali also has been involved in so many of those kind of cases in the state of Mississippi. So this gentleman is by no means a lightweight. He is very well cognizant of the law, both in Mississippi, the United States, and Freetown, and a lot of other places. And he's very much experienced, as I say, 35 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome in our show today Mr. Suri Tarawali, who is currently retired. So he's an elder statesman, but nonetheless, in knowledge, not in retirement. The knowledge still goes with him. So he said, so we want for make we listen to what he will get for tell today. Now the topic we'll get for discuss, the reason why we ask him for come and the reason why we're willing for come. And for say Sierra Leone will get this thing going on about the Tusim issue about we within at the diaspora, and I know everybody know the meaning of diaspora, but most of them are for citizens them, one of them are in country, well left in country, then they reside abroad. So when you left your country, you're there abroad, then generally they refer to you and the group as diasporans. So that's what me now a diasporan, Mr. Tarawali, primarily in Mississippi. He too is affected by that, but he's a regular visitor to Sierra Leone. He goes to Sierra Leone many times a year. So not just by name, no more say, well, he's a diasporan, but he's as deeply rooted in Sierra Leone and the presence there as anybody else. So we want for make it kind of help with for shed some light, and we see a recent Sierra Leone Supreme Court, some kind of unusual procedure, give a broadcast decision where then take a long time, over 2 or more hours, then they read the decision. This has to do with a lawsuit that was filed by opposition member Kande Yumkela, head of the NGC party, where they fought for everybody where they are abroad, for try to give you the right to vote, for try to give you the right to participate as much as we can and legally allowable in the country. And so if they challenge the government in right, if you get what we call dual citizenship, meaning you're born as Sierra Leone, you get the citizenship by naturalization the day you're born. If you come abroad, you get you adopt another citizenship. Does that mean, by implication of law, you lost your Sierra Leone citizenship? That was one major issue. So the SALONE Supreme Court, to me, understanding, but Mr. Tarawali could clarify that. But what we understand is that your birthright as a citizen of Sierra Leone is never relinquished or given up by virtue of you taking citizenship in another country. Because any other country where you take citizenship, you're a naturalized citizen. You're a citizen, but it's a secondary or second-class kind of citizenship in a sense. Whereas Sierra Leonean citizenship is different because you were born there. So the Supreme Court come up with what I consider to be a sound. The SALONE Supreme Court say that citizenship there is never given up, no matter how many citizenships you acquire abroad. So we want for talk on that, for see if which kind, what are the implication, whether that kind of a judgment day, the courts get the enforcement power for make parliament, the executive, meaning the president and everybody, then comply, the police and all of that. So there is a lot we can discuss in the realm of this issue about Tusim and the recent Supreme Court decision. So we hope it will be a very lively discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy for meet and for get the Honorable Suri Tarawali from Mississippi, who is a retired attorney, retired judge, retired prosecutor, is a man of many caps or hats. So, Mr. Tarawali, we very, very much thank you for being part of we today. Before you respond or say anything, I want for Ms. Fadima. Yeah, just hold off. I just want Ms. Fadima for just give me an update on Corona, because we always can get a Corona update. Then we could just make you introduce yourself to the extent that I did not cover everything, and then we will start the program.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, any sound a day in the world, and we don't care again. Today, the 19th of September 2021. We tell God thank you for all good things. We tell God thank you for life. We tell God thank you. The one that we seek among we all let God give you the blessing, let God give you healing. The one that with the morning, let God comfort them. And we know say a great man now we society now New York what they call Born Trouble. He died yesterday, and may his soul rest in peace. May God give family them comfort. Today, when I don't Mr. Sheila don't talk, we have just listening to in resume, this money, accolades, and the things that we don't achieve. It's an honor to have a person among we Sierra Leoneans. You listen to all what he don't do for another country for 35 years, even though he's still affiliated with SALONE, but just part time under what they call the brain drain of Africa, and we are stuck in these countries. Like I can say long term, where them people them with the land book, then go back home. But a lot of us are stuck here with all the knowledge, education. We not get the environment where they encourage we for go back and go give the change where SALONE need for the SALONE honor to have you, sir, honorable, because what you they say honorable, not to SALONE, no more they give honorable. Where in a court, because he's a judge, he is addressed as honorable, so he is an honorable. So I say welcome to you to the show, sir, honorable. Sorry, thoroughly welcome, sir. But like how we say, the world is still going on at the world. Corona is on top of everybody in game. Corona is killing. We know say Corona they kill. We know say Corona day. Even though in Abokuna SALONE, but Corona day na SALONE. So we get for our heed to whatever then they give we, what then they tell we, and we see the England, them put we in a red zone or we label we as kind of dangerous country because we people that were in charge of Corona, we knock over. They say we get the Delta variant at SALONE, and then we see the lockdown and everything. And now it's still affecting us now the world for travel, especially the one that were in England for travel can Sierra Leone. They get restriction, get cost where they get for pay before they left England for let them come, they can't visit their home Sierra Leone. So we pray everything that they get fixed and whatever. But Corona is here, whatever you say you day, it is your choice to take the vaccine. But it is your choice. But if you're not able to take the vaccine, not believe in the vaccine, make sure say you protect and preserve yourself with mask, because when you do it for me, and you do one for your neighbor, you do one for you picking them, you do one for not only for yourself, but you're doing it for everybody else. So now we all responsibility with this Corona. Now we all responsibility. Now we all responsibility. Also, before we begin the talk, we want to talk today for this to sim business here. So where we see the court don't give the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone don't make it legal for we the people them, and it is a struggle for we the people them, and then we know say hopefully when they don't begin do that, so we go able to vote for Musa we day. We get for advocate for that. People are taking the champion for advocate for that. Say we go able to vote for those that be voice because we not diaspora, because they inside SALONE. No means say we know to Sierra Leonean. So I mean, I see I just rub much about 2-3 things quick way make the headline on social media. I see the AYV, congratulations to them. They don't be international, they don't join the DST TV family. So now SALONE at least get one news outlet with the international for all over, like international station. Also, we see the president, Dana America, they come for the 76th session of the United General Assembly at the United Nations, on Wednesday, the 22nd, again for address the United Nations, advocating for the things what we need in Sierra Leone, and we pray, then speak of wise words of things them for bring the attention of them Soriats, the way they among them, they will go able for help we for show we the way. Because not all 10 and the help we of they therefore show we the way. Then we self able for push we self go before. So you know, and it is very, very, very busy, and we also see the APC. Then they do the constitution. You know, the constitution for any side where you they law get for day out and they abide and uphold laws, because without a nation without law is a nation of confusion and all and anarchy and all that stuff then they, so we need laws in place. So we the APC, one of the main opposition party in Sierra Leone, we see the all the thing, and we be hearing the case. So because we get Mr. Charlie with us now,
Carol.
Honorable Charlie, we go get for ask him, you know, what's in our own take on that, because we see and we hear some audio that will be come out. So I will get for for see waiting na own take on there, you know, then kind of thing there, because everything we waiting a whole na salon we go we, sorry, my grandson just walked in the room. Maki, please go. Gamma is on the phone. Gamma, go. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we, you know, this is the age of Corona. Everybody, we doing, you know, stuff. And Maki, please go. Stop it. Yeah. So we are here. We are here to talk. We are here. This little boy here is getting on my nerves. But say hi to everybody. That's my grandson. Okay, go now. Go. Thank you. Go, please. Sorry, he wanted grandma's attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we see all the world is going on. We see that even the America as well, this of the United States of America, we are even days there where the Supreme Court of the United States, the state of Texas, they get a case right now where in a abortion case, they say abortion is illegal, which is the right of a human body. But you know, when they put politics, when you see things they happen, and politics is playing, or putting your beliefs instead of interpreting the law, putting your own belief inside the law, that is dangerous. So all them things then they affect we self na Sierra Leone for grow, because we see politics inside with law, and the for be separate from everything else. It's a separate thing we for make only on the law. So we get Mr. Without going any further for now, let me bring Mr. Tarali in, Sir Honorable Tarali. Please tell the people that smaller do, and just whatever you know you want for make the know, but you Mr. Sheila no we don't talk quick, then we go be the conversation. So thank you.
Thank you, Cheluna. All thank you for the splendid introduction. Mr. Shillon, I've known him for over 25 years. All used to belong to ASLOS, Association of Sierra Leonean Lawyers in the US. He was my last serving president in that group. With this relationship ever since. He's in North Carolina, I'm in Mississippi. Most of which he talk, you know, it's capture accurately my life legal in this country. All within the US, when an African come, he can't do what I do now in Mississippi. It wasn't easy. And all can even tell you, you see, I have a heavy accent. I not really ever lost my Salone accent. So practicing there, being an advocate and everything else, it wasn't easy. But thank God helped me, and with the help of some other friends, I've done all of the things he said he's done. I was very, very active politics, but also I've been very active of I mentioned about the election now. to adopt the constitution. Well, out of the draft that constitution, I'm not saying everything in there is mine now. So if you see something new, not to me, but I participated actively in drafting. In fact, that's why even in Freetown, after I retired, this is the first time I did it before I come back this past July. And just acquainted song, then not like so person can just come the weeks and go. I'm glad to be able to contribute to the good of Sierra Leone. In fact, we have a phrase in the law that we call the ordered society. That means a good society in the US. Now that ordered society, now we SALONE. Go to for saying anybody are there against, but I want for SALONE, let them go able to enjoy things the women enjoy in this country. I want to be able to switch my life and the lights on. I want to be able to go to supermarket with the day. I want to provide education children of Sierra Leone may not begin again, no benefits, and that we want alone, and that own aspiration. That's my glad I wish I had all of my when last I filed we get the Citizenship Act and in Arabic I mean they look at this now. But I can deal with that as Mr. Shilo deal with some things and from memory with the background of the recent Supreme Court decision. So I'm glad to talk to you all. I am a Union first before I become any. Of course, it will always be my home now. I need to give it up anyway. But Sierra Leone, I'm good for what Sierra Leone did for me. I went to the academy in Freetown to do A level before I can do college. And believe me, my educational foundation helped me so much that even school, things where some people learn, even the Native Americans, when they get doubt on, because of the good thing I had, I was able to understand it, sail through it very easily. So I'm very much grateful to. I hope we all go able put Sierra Leone position where people that like we go able to go out in the world and compete. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to make comments.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We appreciate you again. Like how you say, you make a thing. You say, I did not lose my accent in Mississippi in 30 years ago, 35 years ago. We know you have endured a little bit of your own racism and all that stuff, but you stood and you shine. And these are the products of Sierra Leone. And we talk on you go school na Freetown, you sit you O level na Freetown, then you can go college na yeah, and you get the basic foundation where we prepare you for success, for prepare you for success. So we thank you for that. But now we come to the issue at hand: the diasporas, the diasporas, the diasporas. When politicians they need anything, they come to the diasporas. When they need finance, they come to the diasporas. But when it comes to making stuff, making changes, giving a voice, giving your opinion, or helping to build, they seem for be scared of we. So when did this law? Who stand and make this law? Who that sit down when make this law? What's the reason when we make this law say we as diasporans not for participate in governance? What's in at the beginning of what's in at the genesis of this? Who saying this begin for let them begin that way they for say diaspora they're not a part for be part of the political process.
And say this subjection if I get no references them. But much as I remember, the 1961 Constitution, na SALONE, the citizen of who is citizen. It went by administrative. It wasn't until 1973 Act name defined this in a SALONE, and at that 1973 definition of citizen, him put the prohibition against dual citizenship in the 1973 Act. I think the 73 Act was an act that was spurred by, we all remember late John Akka. For those of us who are older, for John Akka can be asked, but into a time when the federal government, so they may try for deny him in citizenship, and now out of that, the 73 Act was born. So the Panda 73 Act, now being a prohibition against a citizen, no, get against dual citizen. If like continue.
Yeah, I think you're breaking. I think that the stuff they break. I don't know how we go able for Duam. Technical team, are you getting the same effect? Like he's coming in broken?
Yeah, he is. So they say he can log off and log back on.
Yeah, so you can Mr. Mr. Taralisa, would you be kind enough to please log off and log back on so we'll get a better connection?
Well, I will try. You know, yeah, I would. Let me see if I can do it.
Just log out and then you go back in. The code that we gave you, just log back in with it, sir. Because it is breaking so
and you tell with such important things that we want to catch everything.
Yeah, it's such important thing, but it is not coming through the connection. It's not so Mr. Shina, so far with you it seems with the wait for lay it come so far with you we don't say what you get for say. Well, okay, I think he came back already.
It looks like it.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, we can hear you
now.
Yeah,
go ahead, sir.
Okay. I will make a summary of what I've been saying.
Yeah,
that's good.
Citizenship law was defined in the 1973 Citizenship Act of SALONE. Now, in that, now it prohibits dual citizenship. In 2000 and that's what I was looking for. In 2006, the Citizenship Act, an amendment was introduced and was enacted for amend the Citizenship Act, and that amendment clearly in section 5 of the Act, he amend, or we call and repeal, the provision that prohibited dual citizenship. That section they've been there on in section 10 of Act number 4 of the 1973 Citizenship Act. In this amendment of the Sierra Leone Citizenship Act of 2006, in section 5, it repealed section 10 of that act. So that was when citizenship, duality in citizenship was no longer a bar. It was there. Now, somehow there is this guru in America, in Sierra Leone law. Una been mentioned a name just now, Gabidon. Gabidon went ahead on a tangent, ignoring the fact that the prohibition was in the 73 Act and go purely on the Constitution, the 1991 Constitution. Now he go on, now he say, well, 1991 Constitution not allow a dual citizen, anybody who gets citizenship of another country for all office. That's an empty. But let me tell you a funny thing what happened. Last year, we filed suits at Freetown. In fact, it's still on. We filed a lawsuit against the government of SALONE and NEC, challenge them, then dual citizens from qualifying for office. Attorney General tell me we're working on something. That's the amendment. The formal response was they have never prohibited a dual citizen from participating. The prohibition was something founded by the political by some political parties. I don't say PCB dual. But NEC, that's the National Election Commission, their position, their response is there in the case that's filed with the Supreme Court, that they have never taken the position that because citizen you cannot test for office. So even before this ruling came 2-3 weeks ago, we already hardly know and say that Gabidon interpretation no hold water, because NEC don't tell we pandemic pleading say no, it wasn't their position that because you're a dual citizen you cannot hold office.
So Mr. With that said, I want to get one clarification, because here in the United States, some people will argue, say, well, here in the United States and maybe other foreign sides, more of America, that if you are not born, if you're not a citizen born here, you cannot hold a presidency, but you can hold any other office. So is that still the same? So Sierra Leone say, if you're not dual citizen, like I'm an American citizen and a Sierra Leonean as well, can I hold the office of president of Sierra Leone? Because there will be conflict of interest in some, what they call them, if there is something between America and Sierra Leone, who does your loyalty lie to? So are we still able, as citizens of another country, to hold presidency, apart from the ministers and all parliamentarian and all that other stuff?
Categorically, there are two as that could be gleaned from the Supreme Court opinion. The Supreme Court opinion stated that there is no bar against a natural born citizen of Sierra Leone from holding any office, including the presidency, just because of individuality in that. Now there is another school of thought that interpret it to say, well, yes, there is a, but at the time you qualify to run for the office, whether it's the president or the minister or member of parliament, if you link to second step, and it been can happen in September, but it doesn't seem as if that's a clear condition to get for relinquished. The question was, your duality of citizenship not bar you from being elected to any of land. of course, what you mentioned about the US, all US says if you're not a natural born citizen, you can. But okay, and we can ask in legal circle. Well, if you cannot be president, can you be vice president, or can you be speaker of the house? Because those are the people that not president if one person not. So that question is being debated quite on legal side. The one like clear prohibition is you have to be a natural born citizen of the US for you to be president. Now, a naturalizing can be anything else. Some of them have served in elective positions in this country, and so we are not yet clear as to whether being president as SALONE you are bad from being it if you are not, if you are born of Sierra Leone. That number the thing and excuse me, let back up small bit. There are two citizens. You get the natural born citizen and you get the naturalized citizen. Naturalized citizen, then you prohibition state. The case where they don't a natural born Sierra Leonean eligibility officer in the country, now that the Supreme Court don't rule on for yes, he can.
Mr. Shino?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Tarawali, the question where I get with respect to, now, just give me your opinion. Now, you just state that even in the United States, we normally get a question of, all right, the law prohibits non-natural born citizens of the US to becoming, from becoming president. Now, we in Sierra Leone or other emerging countries, it would seem to me, with that vagueness of the area where you just mentioned, what about Speaker of the House? What about Vice President? Since the Constitution only speaks specifically to natural born citizen as opposed to naturalized citizen. So now it would seem to me when we did draft William laws back home, knowing people with the level of education where somebody like you get, where some of us get, it seems like we can even draft a better constitution than the United States because we don't get the privilege of seeing some of the loopholes or some of the issues that are not addressed in the constitution, so we can even write a better constitution. So that said, my question to you is going to be, are those very issues addressed in the 1973, in the 1991, and in 2006? All the issues then there are they addressed in terms of, can a naturalized person be citizen of Sierra Leone, or can they not? Be Speaker of the House, or can they not? Or be Vice President of the country, or can they not? And let me just remind you, in answering, this is the thing we ran into in the Ernest Kuruma era, when he decided for fire or sack the Vice President. There was this opera, and I happened to be one of those on the side of those who said he lacked the authority to sack an elected, duly elected Vice President. And because that issue there was not addressed either in the Constitution of Sierra Leone or by statute. So can you shed some light on it in terms of what do you think, what are the distinctions, how is the status of the law now in Sierra Leone, as we try for come up with some good laws for help we to the future. Now, where do we stand now in light of the recent Supreme Court decision of Sierra Leone? Can a naturalized citizen be a vice president? Can a naturalized citizen be Speaker of the House? And now we do know, then they say, I think they are allowed to run for certain offices, the natural born citizens are not, again, you may correct me on that. My understanding of the recent decision is a natural born Sierra Leonean, even if he holds citizenship of another country, cannot be prohibited for or restricted to particular offices. He has the right to contest all the offices, including the presidency. That is distinguishable from that of a naturalized citizen. So can you shed some light on it for us to let us see which in the distinction, and correct me if I'm wrong, since this is a learning process for all of us.
Thank you, Mr. Shilon. There are two classes of citizens in Sierra Leone: a natural born citizen or a naturalized citizen. Naturalized citizen get restriction. A natural born citizen have restriction, which I will call the Gabidon Broha, on disqualifying a dual citizen from running. Okay, which now the law don't make it clear. I say no, a natural born citizen who was already a citizen does not lose his rights citizenship, and that means the right to be voted for and vote, just as he gets a dual citizenship. Now, a naturalized citizen, he is restricted even from running office. 40, as I told, the file is back home. I don't have the file per se, but I would say, if I remember vaguely, a natural born citizen gets about a 30 before you qualify for some elective offices. But the bar on holding office is on the natural, it's on natural citizen. The natural born Sierra Leonean can hold any office elective of other citizens that he has. Do I answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that distinction there between the natural born and the naturalized makes a lot of difference. Now, with the Gabidon issue, do I understand Gabidon argument primarily was giving people a choice. If you are a natural born citizen, then you acquire citizenship from another country. It seems like, did I lose?
I'm with you.
Okay, I don't know what happened to that. Yeah. Go ahead.
You. Gabidon new position was purely based on the Constitution, 1991 Constitution, which has, I think it's some section 75 or 76, that has something to do with the qualification of a person to be a member of parliament. Okay. Now Gabidon extrapolate, say, well, if you not qualify for be a member of parliament under the 1991 Constitution, then you not be parliament. What the Supreme Court talks now the opinion this time, I listened to 3 of them. The opinion is more than 50 pages. The lady made a clear distinction. One, they make 1991 Constitution 73 where that 73 has been dual citizenship. After 1991, in 2006,
6
or is it 7? No, it's 6 or 7.
6.
Okay. No, now 7 really. Because what
Is it 7?
That's it. Oh no. Okay. You're right. 2006 Act aim grant it repealed that 70 Act. So that make the constitutional basis for Gabidon in argument in 2012. He was wrong because it make a profile an opinion without reference to some appeal of the act that he was relying on. The 73 bar codified or somewhat in some form codified in the 1991 Constitution. Well, subsequent to that, in 2006, it repealed. The 2006 Act repealed the 73 Act. That mean what they call it. So it make the whole provision at the Constitution suspect, because you don't get later law will precede within the Constitution. That's not different talk. You know, we'll learn law. We never ever know where basic the override Constitution, but then they do an SALONE plenty terms. So but you know, you cannot repeal a Constitution by an act of Parliament, but you know, then they do them. And for us diasporans, it serves us anyway. 2006 Act, well, really, it just repealed the 73, and not repeal the non-constitution, but really, it repealed them by implication, as we can talk now the law here.
All right.
Charlie, sir, I got a question. Now, don't put this into the Constitution and all. Who's guarantee? I mean, we know say they can amend Constitution for better, for whatever, but we know say back again how we on politics they inside with judiciary, where they embedded inside with judiciary, they and them they inside it. Waiting will make somebody else not because now is like because the law is open to interpretation, and we see some people and they put them prejudice inside their own convictions inside there, and instead of interpreting the law as it be, how we go able for make that puts the law together and put the right toward them inside the Constitution that they want and they make so inside them draft. Some of these words are too vague and it's so open for interpretation, and everybody they come it on for let it work for how we want for let it work. How we go do for let we avoid certain confusion in the future. Waiting them for do, because the legal system, it seemed to me like it's dead, it's not functioning the way it's supposed to function. So waiting at the thing that, and waiting, since you get influence in the Freetown, you say you there in touch with the system. What do you go advise them, and what you go help them for do for make we not get any repeat of them here will be happen in 2018 and for 17-18 for Kanda Yumkela.
Yeah, before Mr. Tarawali answer that question, let me just welcome Mr. Kutubu Kuruma on the show. He's on board. So welcome, Mr. Coase.
Yeah, welcome, Professor. Yeah,
welcome. One child call for Hammer with money, and I put her at the hot seat. Now that's how I want to when I get to Milton for after that the hot seat.
Now, sir, you question. We've never any guy in life except what's certain the present we the doing, because even in position, even in this country outside this in the US, we get a long tradition. You know, a precedent could be overruled, and that's how it changes. The only way we go say is now. The question was presented before the Supreme Court, questioning the qualification of Yumkela to run because he was a dual citizen. Supreme Court has that dual citizenship is not a bar. So we can rely on that. Now, you get rogue judge, then you never know what they come up with. And I started my career working in the Supreme Court of Mississippi. I will tell you, when judge one rule for you, they firm way for rule for you. When the one rule against you, believe me, they firm way for rule against you. The Sam Sumana case, such a bad law. No, we not be think say the right. Look, then get the other case then at tongue, but election them where somebody lost election. No, people successful candidates when appeal, instead of go make election, then just they take the second law. Okay, yeah, you know, so judges then can do anything they want for do. Society has to insist on things being done right, because experience in the African politics, then they make decisions expedient for them. That election petition case, that be expedient. Guess what? Now then lost 10 parliamentarians because of the road they make. Therefore, talk how we been different. No, not different. You know, just uphold a dedication, then go back and rerun the race. But no, you bring the second man. Now they know about, you know, Sam Sumana, Supreme Executive Authority. Okay, I don't see. Don't get me friends the way don't explain to me. As I say, that's bad. Now when people they do now they say, oh, not for do no, now I be not talk Supreme Authority. So it's us who are present either at the moment or at any given time, safeguard and uphold judicial the law or the traditions of a country. If you get rogue system, then things they go bad.
So are you telling us the people are at the mercy of the judge or the whoever is interpreting the law at that moment? We are at the mercy and go the way where they, like in the case of Sam Sumana, they go either care and go the way where they want them. You know, so we're the mercy, and it is scary. It is scary that's how a system for go a country where say unity. The coat of arms say unity, freedom, and justice for all. You know, scary. And I don't know if Professor Wanka into the conversation, because I get one more question we maybe want to ask you, but I'm bringing Professor.
Yes, please, Fadima.
Oh yes.
Let me say this. No, the people are at their own mass. When tyranny reign in an institution, now the people. Now they want. Look, what I said then, because I suspected happened when I was going to appeal in the street. So I told them, I said, go to the street. Street now Supreme Court so they can give a cooked up decision. We demonstrate. I'm going to do a better case in the same people them all over the step. You know they say left them na Supreme Court because you know so na SALONE cooked up decision. The people have to be more assertive to assert their rights. Now that will make we a better society. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to ask another question, but Professor, so tell you go first if you get anyone, because I want to ask a question too on. Go ahead.
Fafa, I'm glad when we got they are me to you know we can stay because you know how me to. But on a more serious note, though, which I want to make a general out in column. Then I want to get your comments. In any society, one that is say, the rule of law now they act as the ethical foundation and the moral compass. We that's the society there. That In contemporary study, there's this which are called a general weakening of moral fiber, where nobody, I mean, people are not put hopelessly inadequate for cope with the exigent and unprecedented challenges. Now, the third branch of government, where you belong to, when at the law, we don't see, I mean, the absence of ethics, especially commitment to the canons of that profession. We see lawyers and they engage in things and way they wonder, how could? In fact, by now, if we expect they for don't Rogers, CB Rogers writes most of their lawyers in the, we then care about conduct and what they see. What are your opinion and your assessment about today bar association and the lack on the part of the legal counsel and even the bar association for dealing with lawyers them where they conduct either be unbecoming? What will be your general assessment of things, sir? Because the reason why I ask is, sir, are they, even though I'm not a lawyer, but are they deal with cases on lawyers them? Ensure this land business, then they send people, they send a brief sent to me, and they look up about lawyers and the ethical and misconduct and then conflict of interest and all that there. So how you look at this, sir?
Just let I can call her uncle. Me na family, na me big brother. So we talk,
so we see
we belong now completely diametrical camps them, but we can always discuss and help each other. Uncle, the thing with this, with the law or with things in a salon or in there we country them, most times we get good law them on paper. If you go, you look the SALONE constitution, it get good thing. You not give anybody the right for do some of the things they do. They don't tell you say the rule of law that they prevail. Then put on the date in a paper. Now how it's how our folks interpret this, how they do them, especially when they not get a tradition of the kind democracy way they talk about. You have to remember the innate part of the African, na the totalitarian, authoritarian chief. Now that we know. Western democracy is na the cricket give and take, play together. So our folks, even though they gave them very good documents, they bastardize the documents. That's why we have the problems we have in administration of the law. Okay. Otherwise, if a case like a Samsumana case would not have been decided the way it was if they not bastardized the document, because all they could have done is borrow look from the other people they own a right from, which they say. Because as this then country how they do. Turn them in a way be say until the 19th, 20th century, US decisions then are then court. We always go looking at London. They look for go and go like we go law school. Believe me, there are plenty decisions they make in England, and then they go begin with. Salon them, they know they learn for do that. Then they try for do more because I see then they cite something them, but they can very easily just ignore the precedent them way other countries the way don't go through the experience where they set. Otherwise, the laws are there. It's when we put them in practice, now they then can banfire the law. The rule of law, yes. The ethics and morality of the lawyers. Now you don't have the same people. We talk about CB right solution.
That's right.
Yeah. So some people they don't know about. Well, I know what they talk about. Well, lawyer they become unethical and they kick you out. Salon today, they know they do them. you case they then a court, they take 10 years na court. It shouldn't. Case for be get a timetable calendar. Judge, you know the whole decision, it take one more right to opinion.
So does the
Get entire limit.
bar association works in Sierra Leone? The bar association, what in get the association in the bar association for checkmate each other, for make sure say then go by the because we've been doing this forever. But then when I was little, to me it was not like that. Maybe they get one or two bad people inside the one or two rogues in the bad apple inside the bunch, men of honor and integrity and character. Yes, maybe we didn't know everything they did because we know say some go must do undercover and underground work and all the illegal stuff. But majority of them held integrity, and it seemed like the bar of Sierra Leone, those people that wear the robe and wear the wig, it looked like they're supposed for every constitution and try for interpret the way where it will benefit most of the people, but yet they don't do that. They do it for parties, they do it for themselves, they do it for their countrymen, their clansmen, or they lodge their way, and they make decisions where they know it's wrong, but yet they're doing it and nobody's checking them. What in the basket them for? It's just a club of lawyers and judges that are not doing what they're supposed to do for hold the integrity and hold the law and upkeep the law and interpret the law for the people. Where is the justice here? When will Sierra Leone start enjoying that justice? Because we see people in jail that are held just because somebody from high in jail, no due process, none of this stuff work, and judges follow these orders because of somebody from the higher up. When will Sierra Leoneans start seeing at least a little bit of decent society where the law go able fit for them and where the need for let it stand for them? I don't understand. I don't understand, sir. I don't know if you go able to help me with this.
It starts from you, me, and everybody else. Let me tell you, in the US, we have 50 bars for each state. Most of them we regulate ourselves, but now then they make sure say, you know, they do wrong. If you do wrong, now you ban and then they punish you. When they punish you, they send the case go Supreme Court, like na Mississippi. When they don't sanction you, they send and go Supreme Court affirm. The bar, they regulate itself. Same thing with the medical profession. They regulate themselves. It's the people who are in this organization, they are the ones who should be able to say, no, you bring in disrepute to the profession. But that's what we don't have, and that's what we need to preach. Each profession make them get that feeling they for be say, I get for no police yourself. Because the other joke happen is if you don't police yourself, then government will police that in position on una. Do thing nobody no go and call una. Now that they happen at the US. But yes, I agree with you the talk. Even though I don't have any no, I don't want to go on rampage on me fellow practitioners than na SALONE. But believe me, their acts, their professionalism leaves a whole lot more to desire. And you put them in the hands of the Chief Justice, or maybe the Minister of Justice, but most of the Chief Justice. Chief Justice are the head of the judiciary. But in they do. Now that makes it all when they arrest somebody, keep in a jail for 10 years and they not try them, but they not get bail. Where the Constitution say every crime where somebody make pass for murder or offense, they get bail. You know, and bail they not for use bail to submitting, but they do it rampantly in Freetown. So there is much to be desired in
So
SALONE.
it is we the people have to fight. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No, may I follow up on that? Because Mr. Tarawali, you may just shed some light on that. Just you mentioned few things, because I have always argued that the Europeans them, or the English people them, or colonial masters them, they left with a very well structured system that if we had just developed some more, we would have been doing fine. They left with a sound educational system, they left with a sound civil service system, then say to the extent that they could, they left with sound infrastructure. It's clear that we haven't added anything to what in the left way. Instead, we take the direct opposite direction for destroy the things that we the left way. For example, you cite the situation like election contested cases. It seems to me if Parliament is being responsible, if they're not playing games, the case we cite, if somebody contests the outcome of an election, the court should not be allowed to impose their own view to the extent that then become the people who they elect for the people and the constituencies. Like you say, when the judge rule against the winner, instead of declaring or ordering a by-election, the system or the practice automatically gives the victory to the person or the runner-up or the person who can second. And I'm here, say, if a representative democracy we get, that is bad, because now you get one judge where they supersede the judgment of hundreds, if not thousands of people, superimposing your judgment, and take the runner-up, declare the victor not to be the winner, and then the runner-up to be the winner. That runner-up, they will not get elected instead of declaring. So a system like that has to be corrected. There is no question about that. Then you just referenced this old thing about the bar, that we have to be self-regulated as well in the United States. But let me ask you this question. From my vantage point, what I see is wrong. Now, the protective mentality we will get back home. For example, I think there are certain basics that lawyers or the profession back home does not understand anymore. And that is, we are a service-oriented profession. They may refer to it as the noble profession, but it's a profession that renders service to the public, to the community. And therefore, we have to conduct ourselves properly. That said, the question I want to ask you, for example, the 1991 Constitution, or some of I've always been asking this question, nobody has answered it. When these constitutional committees are put together, don't you think it's a big mistake when we get people and whether then committees here with the same educational background, that you get a group of lawyers who all studied in England? So they don't get diversity of opinion. Don't you think that's part of the problem now? The way we don't get diversity into how we legislate. For example, they not go allow American trained lawyers then for participate, for come up with ideas, because say me, you, Naya, we are required to take continuing legal education. Sierra Leone, they're not going to want that unless somebody like me or you go they within the system for introduce that, because they render service to the public, so we have to be updated on what's happening with the law, But SALONE, if you left unto them for self-regulating themselves, they are lazy, because we acquire that laziness of creativity. We are not resourceful by we own the system we inherit. Now I make I don't want to go off a little bit, but like the Englishman, when you acquire a word, the way we acquire from the foreign country, like center, you go spell and C-E-N-T-E-R, even though phonetically, C-E-N-T-R-E, even though in a French way of spelling it, that kind of thing. So when we get we on education, we left we program, for example, Programme, The Frenchman spell another way, we say spell another way. The American man say no, the extra M and the extra E, and no matter. So that lack of resourcefulness there, where we just they copy things, we know they try for apply, and then the things that we know say go help we, like continue in legal education, like continue in medical education, we know they implement that at all. So how are we going to improve the quality of service to the public? I mean, am I wrong? So say then committees there where they do constitution, and you can correct me, like the what do you call the judge? The judge. The last commission, I think the 1991 constitution was Cowan. Okay,
Cowan.
please correct me. How many people you know of who were constitutional lawyers or whoever took constitutional law in that committee day? So that doesn't something become. I argue that this is where lies the problem, because you have people of the same mindset putting documents together, trying, because we're not familiar with constitutional law. It's a new thing to we in our country. But yet you get guys like Abdullah Conte and all of those who try for being masters of constitutional law. So can you just render your opinion to we foresee how much of that make any sense, or how much of that is part of the problem?
Well, Councillor, you know very well, and I and others went through to try to convince the lawyers back there, that all we can do for them is help them. You know, we're not going to take anything away from them and probably create more business for them anyway. But they didn't want us there because they felt like, or someone felt like, if we can't, they would take business from them. Yes, that's part of the problem. There is an inbreeding process going through in the country, where instead of they open up the ears them for learn from others, accept us, they tend to be a close-knit society, don't want anybody outside. Okay, they talk about constitution. Well, Abdullah Conte is a very smart man, and I'm sure he did quite a good bit of constitutional law. But some of the lawyers would have seen as SALONE, then they call themselves, then a constitutional lawyer, then a human rights lawyer. What's a human rights lawyer? Huh? But they do that. And when we tell them, maybe say, when I go to school, I probably do constitutional law every year of me 3 years I do in a law school. And if not that at least I get, of course, if the criminal prosecution what they do, I have to study and know very well the fourth, fifth, and sixth amendment to the Constitution. You know, we learn. They would not allow us to help them, and that's part of the problem. Like now, so what they happen with if there is a failure in the self-regulation of the bar regulating itself, the Chief Justice can get any one of us. We can help him, show him how different Chief Justices then at the 50 state that they help make sure say the position works right. Okay. At one time, I think you remember his Fofana, he died by accident. Remember him?
Yeah.
He was going to come. Yeah. When he went and gave me their rules of procedure. Did I ever show you that? It was a big book like this. Okay, so yes, most of the things happening, we need for put more pressure for letting them outsiders them. We get experience, we understand, for help them. I can tell them that when they read a book na law, they call me, they see her every day. I don't need for go read a book. The child I mean see na law school. Now I don't deal with them, I don't interact with them, I understand them. I go explain them for you in and out. Then when they want to talk another, they go for go look book, go for explain. You know, they need us, but we all don't tire.
They need us. You said the word, Mr. Honorable Sir. You said they need us, but they not they embrace them because they close knit. They scared of the outside people that come in say, hey, this is not the way. Then deliberately don't want change. Is it like business as usual? It good for them book or whatever, but when it comes to practical, they cannot perform it, or then they look at, because in the case of audio video, when we come out the last time on this constitution, where then they work on as the APC right now, where then they do a new constitution, and they're carrying on a case because some young people say, this we get for you rectify, and we get for bring change, and we get for stop, and some people were resisting to it, and the courts come out and gave a judgment, say the president, they're not for the term don't pass, the former president and all that, and we hear an audio will come out from a former president, we make the comment say not to for can't tell we waiting for do. When it comes from a statesman, it is disturbing, because then waiting at the power and waiting me when I ordinary man, because you say it is us the people that should put pressure. But when you have leaders wait for set example, when you have presidents then wait for set example, when you have the speaker, all I'm saying, he good, he very waiting and call. But when he sit down, they allow such things to happen. What will the regular Sierra Leone man do when you get nothing behind where invoice, if he open, if he talk, we see how they put people in jail because you stand up and oppose and talk and whatever. But then yet when you have people like a president, a former president, doing things and bastardizing the constitution and disrespecting the judiciary, comes out of it. How encouraging will the people be to speak up when the law don't work for them? The laws that's supposed to protect them does not work for them. The law that is supposed to therefore interpret and for defend them freedom and justice and equality and humanity and dignity is fair of Sierra Leone, sir. What would the people do when it comes to that? Was that a right thing for do? Because some people might argue the APC constitution not entangled with Sierra Leone constitution. Yes, it does, because to me, the APC is a big political party. And we see the case of Sam Sumana, because this political have this clause inside them. If we make so, we're not gonna make so. So when they overrun the constitution, we forbid the biggest one when at the country in constitution. So I don't understand, as an ordinary citizen, I'm not a law student, but I think I have a better comprehension for understanding. So please explain to me, because I'm lost here, I'm confused here. What thing we they do for go forward? How we go change then kind way as sir?
It's a labor of tirelessly wage time. The power of the people is great. Even the people not appreciate them power. I've had dictators being brought down on their knees by the people. Like they will tell you about the Arab Spring. People go like for talk about the Arab Spring. They will tell you in Sudan. Then go tell you what happened with Pol Pot, Cambodia. The power of the people. We not for tire.
Yeah.
We cannot put a time limit or quitting time on the effort for educating people. Them sooner or later they're going to rise up against the buffoonery and stupidity where they go on. And Kuruma has really outlived his usefulness. Okay, so anytime away they talk, even you they talk about we say no tell for listen what you talk what you do yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that.
But we cannot stop. We now let me say this. me not to like we just the oppose and eskoroma. Me na next support, me na next lawyer, defender, we now can criticize and believe me, I'm not getting that word. We at the bite me tongue. Us where they see right, we just need for press on. Yes, I cannot tell you when, but now later, some of these people, well, they will go one way or the other. Either God take them or the forum. The people sweep them out of power. So Lord, just they keep on trying. I understand your frustration.
If I may also, okay, Brother Siri Charawali, the other thing is, just for purposes of course, I always say we cannot relent. It's a continuous struggle because situations don't change themselves unless people change situations, you know? So only the people, like you say, the people power, as gleam and as misty as it may look, there will come a day when it will look brighter. You know, so we've always maintained that hope there, that there will be brighter days ahead. Because all we have to do not to look far back, we just get a look at America in the 60s and the 70s, during the Martin Luther King time. If anyone told us that black people stood a chance of making changes in this country when they were being sprayed down by water hoses, dogs being sent on them, I mean, the situation will look bleak. But steadily, because they persist, things kept improving. Things have not reached the mark. But in our lifetime, we don't see the election of a black president, something that was unthinkable. In fact, inconceivable in any way, shape, or form that in our lifetime that will have ever happened in this country. And it not happened because blacks became the majority. It happened because of the persistent perseverance. So, like Jesse Jackson can say, you have to keep hope alive because that's the only thing we get left. And we also see in real lifetime, we have a black vice president and a female vice president and a black female vice president, something that was unthinkable not too long ago, when we don't see even people like Mrs. Clinton, a very gifted politician, don't try for be president, and she never was able to attend by way, one way or the other, was never able. So things can change. People just have not to relent. You therefore persistently stay. But let me ask you I want to ask a constitutional question here. You know, so the Constitution of Sierra Leone, where the law gives original jurisdiction to the Supreme Court. My understanding of that, you cannot raise constitutional issue in the lower court, in the magistrate court, because they say the Supreme Court now get original jurisdiction. You cannot raise constitutional issue in the High Court. You cannot raise constitutional issue in the Court of Appeals. You can only raise it for the first time with the Supreme Court. I find the drafting and the requirement of that extremely awkward in the sense that if crimes are happening anywhere and if there are properties, how can someone commit a crime or charged with a crime, but you say he should not have the ability to raise a constitutional question unless and until this case reaches the court of the Supreme Court? Take like the Kamaremba case, for example. He was denied bail, not because he murdered anyone, but and his lawyers were not able to raise any constitutional argument at all, unless his case got to the Supreme Court. In your opinion, this is where I question the soundness of knowledge, of mind of the people who would write a constitution. How can you write a constitution and give original jurisdiction, original, to the Supreme Court, one of the court of last resort? So again, you can try for help. Let we understand if that make any sense to you, So let's see which are the genesis behind such a law.
Shilon, really, we all have that provision. They just interpreting it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Even in the US, a constitutional argument, pure constitutional argument, a lie with the Supreme Court, the original jurisdiction with the Supreme Court. But that not stop if you get a case where, say, like the election petition cases there. They start na state court, then where they appeal. Now before they go, then done the state system before they go to Supreme Court. Now even in federal court, that not mean say when they give original jurisdiction to the Supreme Court, that means say if you deny me bail na magistrate court, I cannot interpose my constitutional argument. We do it all the time. Now then just interpret it wrong for let it read like say you can only make a constitutional argument at the Supreme Court 2 years or 3 years after they don't injure you na magistrate court. Because that make since you are in magistrate court, if the denial of bail contravene my constitutional right, I cannot raise that argument until I get to the Supreme Court. That's wrong. That's a wrong decision. Now that, like I be mentioned just now, then read a book. We don't leave them. We see how the way people then deal with things, how they deal with them. They don't know. They are very, very limited in that respect. Yes, what you talk to now, so then they practice at SALONE. All arguments only should originate by petition from the Supreme Court. But how about if the wrong occur in a proceeding in a lower court?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what they've not been able to solve, and that's where our input for help they say, well, no, this is how you solve those things. This is how you solve those things. But they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't.
Thank you very much in that sense. Ms. Fadima, you were getting ready to ask a question.
They ask a question because I want for know. Okay, with the Sierra Leone, the law in can I sue Sierra Leone government? Let me say, if Sierra Leone do something to me, will I be able to go put a lawsuit in the court, say this is what the government, or they have done this, or this has happened, like compensation, like they wrongfully do you something, then you won't get compensation because since you're not a compensation lawyer, because we don't go back compensation, because there are times when they damage you, they owe you legally, they abuse your rights, they do all kinds of things. Can we go back as citizens? Can I go back, say, hey, I want to sue the government because they wrongfully keep me in jail for such and such, or the judicial system, I want to sue them for get compensation for the damage they don't cause to me, character and physical and everything else. Can Sierra Leoneans sue the courts, the judiciary, the whatever, the executive branch, whoever, the SALONE government? Is there a provision for that in the Constitution?
Yes, every citizen has a right to sue both a private person and the government where sovereign immunity is waived. Okay, which they stop people from suing us now because they not get American hustling lawyer like us.
You get that right.
If they ever allow us to practice there, we will sue the hell out of it. We will sue the sote. We will sue the sote go na ECOWAS. Because now that them they are wrong. The lawyers not wrong. They are right. They're smart people, but they are not. They don't know how to hustle. I know how to hustle. I know how to try to go around for sue somebody for let me client to get something, because if my client not get paid, I don't get money. and I have I have a very expensive life for sure. Like say I'm a guy. So yes, there is a right to sue to the extent of where there is no sovereign immunity, and then now other way the government can allow now for sue. Like for some what they call it can take plenty. There's a few exceptions, but then a lawyer talk. But if you ask me, yes, there is a right to sue. Now, can I sue the magistrate when not give Kamarimba bail? Probably can't. Cannot even in America, because it do in judicial capacity and you get judicial immunity. Okay. Now, can I sue the jailer? Yes, I can. Okay.
Why is that?
So,
why the jailer, sir? Why the jailer?
Because
Mr. Tari, why you not go talk about the habeas corpus?
Okay, hold on.
What?
If you get the power, hold on, just clearer. If they give you the power, you're not able to sue the judge, but the jailer, and they do what in the judge tell her. The jailer no say, if I do this, then go sue me. They go begin to deny the judge and say, good. That can also be an instrument of good governance. You get people the way they sue, even if the top man get immunity, and them nobody know carry out in order. Because you were talking about habeas corpus. Well, yeah, down the right of a person, a writ addressed to the God produce the body of a person. So that's something that is embedded in English law since 1200.
So you're saying there is a way to go around it?
Yeah, if the practice na SALONE, I will sue the jailer. I will sue the police superintendent who maliciously bring a case against me where no day. In some other respect, yeah, he may be immune from a lawsuit, but when you do them wrongfully, tortuously, and maliciously, I can pierce the immunity. But at SALONE, the lawyer, the way they get in, they're not trained in the law like how they do them. Me and Chilo, there is nobody who know the sue. Now sooner they tell you say no, you cannot sue him, and which usually happen. But we sue anybody and anything for everything. SALONE, they're not sue them for malpractice. Anything they happen, no. Like the first time I go to SALONE, I don't dare. Been the worker one even time we talk. I did a mistake for the pavement in gutter. I saw me through this all and call so. And I said, this is in America, like I don't sue city council. Because the whole be the way I foresee them, but when they never don't fix that whole day. But they don't know that. So we that kind of thing, the main thing for sue. So yes, when you're talking about SALONE, tell them make them with a different perspective, make them can help them. We will help them how for do the law.
Now this is the reason people over there.
Okay. Okay.
Professor.
Yeah. Okay. Attorney, Mr. Charlie, I want bring you front and center to what did happen now. We see the mini convention. Well, before they go to this convention, there are guidelines with the judge. In the considered judgment and carried opinion of the chief plaintiff Diana Mr. Afekonte, a series of breaches that he strongly believes the people who convene the Iron column, they violate the court, he ordered them. For example, some state or some other turn and they left out of the car, they for be part of the, everybody they will pick. Mr. Conte, by which if I said not to the one, what are your assessment about this thing? I want to give you honest opinion based on how you see things work from a perspective of a lawyer and from a perspective of how you see the politics, how you see this year play out. You honestly believe say they do it properly, and in fact, Mr. Conte get a right to recourse to judgment. So I want to expand on that.
Well, let me make me disclaimer. People know me na the godfather of the NRM. Okay, so na me start me the right front and center of this whole litigation, funded and supported by me. So after I made that disclaimer, Alfred, I mean small brother, adopted small brother. So they in consonance in some of these things. The only thing I'm going to say is I don't want to take evidence and say, oh, contempt of court. Contempt of court can only be declared by the court. You go to court with them, no. There are some things that have not been done. You get 132 constituencies. They make election on 127. They couldn't make election in 5 because let me try, but confusion, so they're not able to go do. They say they're not able to go do a rerun again. Now, the 127 Guna clear. Would the 5 make a difference? No, and that can make like by election law. If you are, if then they count votes, you get 1,000 votes. That person gets 700 votes. You say then be rogue me and one side win a 100 votes. It's believe me, or every court, even Supreme Court in this country will tell you say no, it wouldn't affect the outcome. Okay, if what you defer the dispute concerns something will not go change the outcome, then it may not be anything where the court go with a call. Now this convention where they talk so then father and dip and now left work come get ready for what they call. I mean they keep track of. I think for myself in they keep track of what in the happen there. There are many things that I would left to the judge. I'm not going to be self-righteous in saying the establishment which I am against the wrong per se. No, I wouldn't say that. Make Alfred get in issues them, let present them, let making lawyer, let present them, let the judge decide on waiting to happen, whether it will happen. Okay? Because we don't really have time to go back and redo a convention. We have to get ready. Let me don't get on my political soapbox. We have to get ready for 2023. So that's that's the reason why. So Kutuba, I don't know if I answer your question, but
well, you don't put it in that frame day. I mean, let's see what happens. Because you get for going to court Monday. So let's see, what the court says.
So the court is the only person that can say contempt of court. Get for deciding all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
The court. The contempt is decided by the person, the authority you are contempting.
Okay. Judge Story, Tyrese.
Okay.
Judge, this call, like you say, we get some people that will ask questions. We get 4 callers on the line right now, and we want to take them. Then when they don't ask them question, them they will give you. We'll take them 2 at a time, make you able for answer and question, and we then get and let we entertain them. Good evening, caller. What's in your name and who's are you call we from, please? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's in your name and who's are you call we from?
Keita, they call from North Carolina.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Keita.
Yeah, it looks like we don't go off topic now as for start with completely because I'm thinking the topic was the Supreme Court don't allow people when salon people are where they outside for let them participate in the election yonder. You know,
Yes.
so when we stay on that day, I think they go hell. But
Yeah,
you know, they ramble around and Mr. Thoroughly, of
yeah,
course,
just
this
go
is the
ahead because
unfortunate
we
thing,
don't
but
talk on
we
that
system in that country
conversation.
there because for start with for the talk down to on to people in that country how they know they listen this, they know they listen that, and they now a very big problem. You know, when their country, even America wouldn't take the system from Britain. Come on, Britain, you can't practice law and animal straight. You gotta go through their own system now. Yeah. Law now just if you learn from some side, now just a template. Then just to show you how you structure laws there. You don't necessarily mean saying that the same exact thing they go transfer that because you get to reflect the culture also. I wish we stay on the topic so we go know whose benefits or if you not go benefit, the system as salon for people away not daily, but now salon people away they still maintain the passport, can participate, in the politics. Then the other thing about this, if in America, if in Britain or whatever, come on, why we not go be proud of what we get? Within our own country, you dey see how policeman just dey meet person and shoot and kill her. Wetin dey commodity depend on the person. Then country as I said, they get
Mr.
over
Keita,
1,000 jurisdictions in that country. One great state, they get
Mr.
different
Keita,
laws.
Mr. Keita,
One great
Mr.
state, they get
Keita,
different
Mr. Keita, Mr. Keita,
judiciary systems. They
you
wake up
cannot
and the other
dominate
men
this conversation. Mr. Keita, please, let we give mutual respect to each other. You did ask a question. You did ask a question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Keita? Mr. Keita, can you hear me?
We go use, of course, something I don't teach we how for draw law. Just like I want to make it get different.
I don't know if he's hearing me at all.
Basic physics principle way they use for build, engine. But you don't necessarily mean say you go for build like exactly like the finance from Toyota garage, you learn for build motorcar. So then are some of the other things there. Now we stay on the topic itself. Waiting, instead of we go and ramble all over the place. The Supreme Court don't declare, say, diasporans are eligible for participate in the national elections. Okay, now we see how we go with it. Then when I get four people, on TV, the other person, Mr. Kutubu, I think, then, he hardly even able to get time for come inside and say anything. So this now, the things there. Yeah, just like we talk about, okay, Mr. Thoroughly, don't be honorable, you don't be judge, you don't be this or whatever. But this mentality, I say, if somebody don't reach some side, now the Almighty, now don't be able to APC would then crash. Because then they can score, make a supreme leader, then looks like he lead them. Now the same thing back when I get at the panel. Mr. Thoroughly don't take over everything. And Mr. Thoroughly, the more you talk, he almost portray himself as a very dishonorable somebody. Say you're gonna salon.
We cannot allow him to attack a guest. No.
Let him finish. So
We cannot allow him to attack the guest. We can't give him the freedom to do that because first of all, he can't lecture us. He cannot lecture us in terms of what we should. First of all, we're not off the subject matter. We're talking about the law. Yeah. Two, you can tell that he has a bone to pick with Mr. Tarawali. You don't fight that battle in here. And when you talk about what we get, what do we get? The law will get in Sierra Leone, not your law. So not begin for lecture we about Sierra Leone law. We the faithful, we stick with we on stuff. You say for follow what you will get. What you will get, the law will get in Sierra Leone, a British law and a British way of practicing. So, and then you do not attack our guest on the show. You say to talk down to Sierra Leoneans. We're not seeing that way there. So if you're going to talk, forget some enlightenment and get some contribution what you want to make, we will listen to you, Mr. Keita. But if you want to try for object and attack guests in our show, you are backing off the wrong tree. We're not going to tolerate that.
Well,
You
Mr.
know, and
Shimon
we
said,
will not allow you to. We're not going to allow you for voice your opinion. You know, we can't find you media for do that. And if you get question, ask the question. If you get some contribution, for can begin talk about Mr. Kutubu, Mr. Tarawale. No, sir, we will not allow you to because you have not contributed one bit to this discourse. You know. So
well, like I can say, this is not a voice of Sierra Leone.
I hope he heard us. And this comment
Yeah,
is from Mr. Kita. Okay.
yeah, he
So
does us.
yeah, let's take another call.
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, this is the voice of Sierra Leone. Some
Yeah,
people,
it's not
they get an
unfortunate. It's the voice of
agenda, they get
Australian, but
their
not for attack.
goals. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You rightfully, sir. I
He is
stand with
welcome
you on that.
to make a comment. But listen to him comment. He's attacking Mr. Tarawale and our duty for protect him because he's our guest. You know, if he get a bone to pick with Mr. Tarawale, he care for state and more respectfully than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll come back to that. Let me take another caller. Good evening, caller. What's your name and who's the call from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and who's the call from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and who's the call from? Okay, so we don't lost the caller. I want to just say, first of all, to Mr. Charlie, I'm very sorry, but this is a platform where people then can call, some people can come, and Mr. Shilon don't address that. So, we sit here daily and we get these things because some people might not see Usayu they come out or might not see and the way they have their own way. But if you've been Mr. Keita, sir, if you've been begin from the beginning, we don't talk on the to seeming shoe we don't make. And when they have conversations, there are other conversations that come in where they be leading to other things. And we're still talking about the law and how the law they work in a salon. Because what we know say the judiciary system is not working. And this man, what we get on the store today, we guessed, he is a retired judge. Whether you like it or not, he gets experience. He don't do hands-on. So he still communicates with Freetown. He don't do 35 years of law, practicing law in the United States, up to the point of judge. So he come here for enlighten. We ask them not to work. What thing we gonna do? And these are the things when we in the diaspora, sometimes when people are giving their time and volunteering their time for try for bring the change and for enlightening that's why we don't know our power as people. We don't know our power as when we come together, because a lot of this nonsense because people like us have sat by for the longest time and say, how for do God's day? How for do, for tell them? How for do the system they work? No, the system is not working. The system is failing us. We embrace what we get, but it is rotting. And if we see say the fish they smell, we not talk and say they smell, it go take and contaminate the odor go spread. And that is what has been happening for the longest time in we country, where blockage is in our heads. I talk about the blockage of Sierra Leone, the growth of Sierra Leone. We underestimate our power, we underestimate ourselves, and we have people trying to enlighten us for see how we go. Something will happen to you tomorrow. Look at the land cases in Freetown. Look at how many people have been locked up in the system. Look at how we asking questions. We're trying to know what can they do to make change for force them people here. Because the people of Sierra Leone occupies the judiciary, the lawyers and the judges. We are more than them. So if we enlighten our people, we unclog our brains, we not take everything as attack and come with an open mind for receive as a sponge, then it will be better for us for that we achieve and acquire the change. I like the President Bio in tweets today. He is in Massachusetts, and he went to the Kennedy Library. President And he said it was very interesting and educative and all that. Guess what I write on that in page? I told him, I said, I hope say, what you don't learn so, you go take them, for go implement them, for go apply them, for let we get the necessary and well needed and way waiting and coaching. And also, I make a suggestion to him, say, I hope say when you come to Washington, D.C., you go visit the Museum of American History, where we go and learn what we rich culture and the resistance and resilience and the suffering of the black man. Let we embrace we own kind for go learn how to go forward. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but if sorry, this is not your cup of tea, maybe. I'm sorry, but we sit here voluntarily for try for bring the change. To each his own. We cannot receive everything we learn or we what's in a call. But guess what? Let us be a sponge. Let us suck it and then let we go back in we quiet time. Let we reflect on what we don't learn a year and let we see if it's good or bad. Let we pull all we differences and prejudices aside. So this is what we need to be doing. We need for grow past this. We need for grow past the attack. Our country is divided. We know that into tribal line, into political line, but we have to try to be in the center for bring the people, the masses of the people, change and the change we desire. So sorry for disappoint you, Mr.
Keita.
I mean, we are trying here, and this is a case of law, and we try for learn the broken things them out for fix them. And this man was with we guess, which is we're gonna call him that because that's what they call him here. He's an honorable judge, and he don't retire. He gets a lot of experience. With Sierra Leone lawyers, they don't have. Some of them do have it, but they don't apply it. Once they go there, the system is clogged up with polluted, with corruption and all the other stuff. So we cannot sit by idly and just let it be. We got to talk about it. Sorry, it disappoints you. And platform, we can put a thing, but it can go another way sometimes. Everything is not 100% absolute here. I'm sorry for disappoint you. We talk about stuff, then other stuff they happen. It draw rope, go push. All is about the mission here is Sierra Leone. I hope I don't answer your question. I don't talk about who la person to me. You please.
And if I may add to that, Ma, I hope by implication, Mr. Keita is saying there is nothing wrong with going to Sierra Leone. All is fine. Cases not going to court for 8-10 years, criminals being locked up without due process, and people not being given speedy trial, people not being granted bail, constitutionally protected rights not being protected, people's lands being stolen. As far as Mr. Keita is concerned, all of that is fine. When you bring those issues up, you're talking down to people. You're not trying for enlighten people. Well, more power to you, Mr. Keita, because I think with people like you, Sierra Leone will never, ever see the light of day, because you are attacking the messenger, not the message. We would like for you to deal with the message, not the person way to say the thing. If you disagree with the content or the substance of which somebody to talk, you're perfectly welcome to disagree and try for educate you in the process. But when you come, you begin to talk, say, oh, every country get a own system. I mean, let me give you a little lecture, sir. Whose system Sierra Leone get? Sierra Leone, the system, not to the inheritance, the British system. Who is more attuned with the system of law than the Americans in relation to Britain? The Americans are direct descendants, and not about the present day. The original Americans who moved Canada away established the system. We're British men. Sierra Leoneans are not British people. And the system we have there, we did not create. It's a legacy left by the people. Some of us who have had the privilege of studying abroad are telling you there are better, there are ways improvements can be made. So if you don't see any way, you think say the system is perfect as it is, or it's even workable, well, some of us are saying the system is unworkable. I don't know how happy you will be if you get a relative, put on a Pademba road, He did it 6 years for a little marijuana case. They're not even bringing him to court for trial. That may be perfect with you. But for some of us who have had the privilege of being exposed to the system, we think that's extreme cruelty. You know, I don't know how you will feel if you own land. Somebody will use the call of law and take your land from you without going to court, without having the ability for suing that person there. It may be okay with you. Maybe you're not one of the beneficiaries of that kind of a system there. But some of us are saying to make them feel equal, we therefore change the system. I don't know. I don't know why you consider it talking down to people if we are telling you in this country what we've learned is that when you study law, when you study medicine, when you study engineering, it doesn't end there. The education continues. Then prepare and get a system whereby we are required, lawyers, doctors, nurses, accountants, to take continued education of techniques and services and servicing the people. If you don't see anything wrong with that, more power to you. But we tell you, say we are enlightened enough to know there is a whole lot wrong with the system. And so we are more of a committed set of Sierra Leoneans. We not to look at anything on party line. We call the shot as we see it. So I will want you to realize that, Mr. Keita. So you're always welcome to call the show, but talk substance. Talk substance, not begin to attack any individual. You know, if you get something for land, if you disagree with we, tell off the basis of your disagreement. Not begin to we say, oh, Sierra Leone, then get a new system. And then we as citizens don't have the rights to question that system there if it's unworkable, if it's been applied wrongly. Just like how Mr. Tarawali just explained to we, but say the law as it is written with respect to original jurisdiction, I don't know if you listen to the nuances then it's being wrongly interpreted by the lawyers yonder. So even when the law say original jurisdiction, you cannot raise Agi Kamarimba example that he was denied bail, which I think constitutionally is entitled to. He say, well, now the law and the practice in the wrong way, even if the law say that, you can raise the issue. If you disagree with that interpretation, the way Mr. Tarawali say, you're quite welcome, one for land for that. But for now you the talk down to people, you know, not to we the talk down, because we are not talking down. We are just calling the shot as we say it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Professor, I don't know if you have anything to say. I don't know who else has something.
Well, when I don't address the issue, ask for thank you for that.
Okay, we get another caller before we give guest chance for answer. Let me take another caller, please. Caller, good evening. What's your name? Where you call from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name? Where you call from, please?
Yeah, name Aisata. They call from Canada. I just want to say thank you to all the people there waiting on the screen today to talk about this program. And to we guest Mr. Tarawali, we say plenty thank you. So Miss Fadima, Mr. Shilon, Mr. Kutubu, and our Professor Kutubu, and our thank you very much, because putting them they would learn from this as well. But for just throw a light to the last caller and comment, Yana viewers, we only talk about within how we see things. Me, I just feel so we just move on. Don't not go off the topic because now time don't go, because we'll be the land from waiting when I be the say. So make we just continue. What we they talk about topic them, thing will bring talk, but all of it relevant. But yet still everybody entitled to their opinion, the only thing no more, you know, finally we all do and respectfully. So having said that, me want to have been understand again about this Pademba Road. I get a cousin where somebody when they work for this gas station along I think the Sea Road or so na Freetown. They don't work there for 13 years. They say ready for retire from the place. He want to start his own business. He asks him boss for make it go gear in Sabrans. Instead, we think I happy in a case he end up for the man end up for gear because you know and get money. And in your part, and no nobody man in your part. But waiting happen is if in dinner for them by road, when we in a house, then go there for go bail land. When in commodity tell we for say he already made the show like say he they out. Like they already bail her, while he's still there in jail. Because the man will not give and the money when I'm boss, go talk to the big man where they for make them go lock him up and he say. So then kind of corruption, yeah, so it's not good. Because if you hold somebody in a jail, there is no need for law to make fraudulent activities that we go make in people and feel say you know they but then it inside Tona. So like on paper, you know they don't bail out already. But in reality, it's still did. Well, it can be to you on picking after where you know they gain a power. Or where you know they gain that position they. So now the thing and this way don't Hamburg with counting. Where one party there, then bring their own rule. Another party can then say bring their own. So now this no more they go pan over and over like now music when they dance, you know they go before, you know they go behind. But then would they expect a different result? Everybody want for law would be like the Western world then. But then people and the thing they happen. Back to Mr. Keita where he say like they kill people, they are not in the common side. I disagree with that. Then they try them, then they do them. But you they see people and they protest. That means they get rights for protest, then they come on the street, then fight against them. Not all of them, then they succeed for make them overturn the police, their attitude. But majority of them, the people and the law, they take action. And the one they support and they take action, you they see say, you get people that way go they for, even though you get people that way they against, but they're not just sit on dormant, they accept that, like waiting a bit to win. So we pass and say beer. So I think say law we know they take them kind of example there where would they talk about importance. A lot talk about the positive side. So I mean you take that and this whole
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Mr. Charlie, sir. You know, you with sister don't talk. You know, like I say again, this is not the voice we get for move on. We cannot sit on for one waiting and call because a lot of people are learning from what you they talk. You know, if you not make sense by you today, later on it will make sense by you. Way listen and back, it will make sense. And we sister bring out a point. This is a new one where I know one day you read this one yet. They say one left, he asked for severance pay, they not get before that then put case for and they would then go for go bail and they show say you know they're not the prison system, but yet they inside they for let them feel say they don't left them and then kind of thing and they which is you know very, very bad. This is a new one. I've never heard of that. Has anybody don't ever hear about that? The paper for say they don't bail you, but you still there inside the prison. The woman go for go pull a man come out. People are corrupt, people are doing ways, and the people that wait for protect and uphold the laws are the ones that are violating it. What do you say to that, sir? Mr. Charles?
Yeah, you know, the lady just give the typical example we now allude to earlier, say, make the allow we hustle in American law there. Help correct the thing and they because that jail where they keep that jail in the sue. Even win safe, we are spanner a swam. You get for go hire a lawyer, then they go make and let you know do some in the way they do. So that you know they really will be the talk before that young man coming with them talk them. We are willing to and times the input it go even help and with again at all. You then can't give I can't give you case 7 years you not do nothing. They will get other law where they treat you malpractice. Begin to do that. Now that make you see the American society is very, very litigious because we believe in suing, but the suing and they keep people there in if you want to do something, say go in lawsuit. So waiting the lady talks to, oh, and good case and the way as an American lawyer, I go one for le, I go do. Just waiting, and no one go practice without an know the rules. So maybe I go offend some people. Them, I don't think there is any black letter law when they talk about a SALONE, I no go know. Come on, I don't study. I don't live them. Would they see and I use every day? So now that give we the experience and the understanding. If some people have not seen, well, that's just too bad. But I appreciate what the lady say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We get another caller. Caller, good evening. What's your name? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and who's the call? Okay, we lost them. Okay. We lost the caller. Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Kutubu, like I would say, the APC Independent Convention, we want to let the convention go right. We see, Mr. Charles, if you go indulge me in this a little bit, we see the thing look like it come out fine. We see them bring other political party them for in the name of transparency and let them watch and let them observe for see say that they do the procedure, they go rightfully how we supposed to go and all. But then you talk say things that were violated. What do you think about bringing in the other political party? What does that mean? How we look for Sierra Leone as bringing other people from all the different political parties, then they try for bring other people that come in, were present during the convention. What does this mean going forward for SALONE and for the political party business? Because the inclusiveness, the bringing in people from different views for car observancy, and in the army when we finish come out on a mission or something, you get AAR, after action review. Waiting we learn, waiting at the mistakes, waiting we go do, how we go do them better next time. What do you think of that the way you see the Dennis just called all the other political party people they were then calling, and all the other organization, the civil organization they were then calling. What does it mean going forward? Because all these things now they bring unity and for push SALONE go before. So what do you think overall this weekend we happen to the All People's Congress introducing their new constitution?
Well, when we look at it, they go back to the concept of democracy. Democracy, the government for the people, by the people, and existing with the legitimate consent of the people. And how do you forget to that level there? People then get into office through the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box. And how that they happen again? When I forget systems, structures, laws, and when they govern, get the how they come up from this point to that point. To me, not a very good beginning. This, as me, what I will tell you, I have been a self-appointed, an advocate of NRM. For this way they doing so, I've always been supporting it because this is not only for APCO. This they lay a template in structure for other political organizations that power una get forget power from the people. Now then they give una now on their behalf una just all and normal, but the year power now we the other people now we get but for love now exercise that power we the guidelines, structures, foundations, and this now they act as the ethical foundation. Now the moral compass is on which. So what you all go do? Let we all support waiting because they can always don't talk good governance within the political parties then, it will be translated to good governance for the country. Bad governance within the political parties them. Now that thing will take for going to the governance of the nation. So this night for B, we are able to embrace this, and not necessarily get for BC or SLPP for accept. So you know, we need to forget good structures there. Because at the end of the day, though, now one thing matter. That's what they call green, white, and blue. Now matter, not to the political party, not to the leader, but green, white, and blue. So anything we're going to do for help let green, white, and blue be something we all will be proud of. We all there for. The hope is how they not study Johnny will be similar like money him. Let God make them they can with Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. And waiting more me gladly if God may they accept this constitution, there's going to be time limits the APC. Everybody get for compete for all the office system. And you know any office as long as you know a registered bona fide members and waiting they make you a member, you they pay all you dues because you don't go there, you know they pay dues. They say you're not a member. No, you get for put your money there also. So anything will go good inside what they do now, they will count on me support, I will support them. Me believe in a place where we all get to say, not to just few people them. So kudos to them and let guide them, say go, let them reach a place where all go accept, say yes. Now that means I'm your contribution.
Okay, so to you, sir, Judge Tarley, you make the claim now, say the disclaimer now, say you know the original person where they under this NRM movement for change, for better constitution, for better things, and you see what thing don't go on. Are you really, as a person, like I would say, you know, the genesis of the change? Where we rightfully need in we country, in we party politics, in we what they call. Are you satisfied with the constitution so far that has been drafted? And the APC party, the opposition APC party, right now, sir, are you satisfied with what you don't see all the things that won't be the effect for? Because you said it is the people that have the power, and una don't show saying that the people get the power. Una don't go court, and the courts don't speak. And now this weekend we see APCs are jubilating everywhere that they are for it, and it's a new constitution, a new beginning for the party. So which thing are you on take? I will ask you that because now you reveal unto we, so I not be know, but now because I know, I want just to go into you, sir.
Thank you very much. Right now, as I sit here, I'll tell you it's a mixed basket. We didn't get all what we wanted, but there are some cardinal issues that needed to be addressed, and I think we prevail on those. One of those is we're never going to have selection anymore in the APC modus operandi of electing their leaders. All of them now is by election. There are some things that we didn't get that we wish you could have gotten, but you know the young man them, because I can't turn them that I'm about the oldest among them, and I tell God thank you they at the US, so I can afford some things them. So plenty thing anyway. We need for do say okay, almost it costs pay up. So what we have is a mixed basket. We didn't get all what we wanted, but the most promising that they can get today is the principle that the law, no, what is it? Election to serve in a position, you have to be elected. I think we have codified term limits, so nobody will not get lifetime chairman or lifetime position. You know, I think we have 2 term limits for each person in a position. When you don't serve 2 terms, we're really in a 6 years, because from convention to convention, so now 6 years. If you still in an executive or move to other posts, but you know they continue, and that goes also for the president. I understand they have changed the youth league. Now they call it the Young People's Congress. I think that provision prevailed. The only thing we are skeptical, we had said the youths to be youth, and when person don't make play, promote play, go on later. So that make will be makes it a youth not that again. I think now what they get, I don't think they get limits. So they even do well. We will see all the 70-year-old youth then they all go they come back, they can put their call. Yeah. So Adima, it's a mixed bag, and like people can tell you, we can talk, we can argue, we can, we get academic things that we know. This look, we know weaknesses them. So we hope say this war don't start so. That will be, as Kutubu say, attempt for political governance in Sierra Leone. Because if we not get good parties, them good laws that get that they follow the rule of law, believe me, go translate na the nation. If we not get a free internal party politics, it go translate na the nation. So you look forward, it's a mixed basket. So hopefully we get. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thoughts, sir.
No. Well, I don't know if sometimes you don't want to ramble. We learn.
Okay, so I just want, I just want to say you say, sometimes we win some, we lose some. We cannot get everything we ask for. When you negotiate, you cannot get everything that you ask for. That is life. So moving forward, as the founding, the beginning, and the financial support under this, what would you say to the young ones, to the young people, to the one them when at the future of Sierra Leone, where they not una party day, where una get so, because we see a lot of confusion, we see a lot of fighting, and the young people are among the young. And among them, there are some that are loyal to the older people, and then there are some who say we want to reform, we want to change, which bring this NRM business where una begin with the movement. So what do you say to unify your party again? Because una can't get everything. Una don't negotiate, una don't get some, una can walk later, forget the other one. Bring into forward, how will your people, your party, you as an elder in their camp, how can you make them forgo? Because some people, when they don't owe something, they trangayes for commodity. How will you get them to move forward, for Lona unite and go forward, and let we get something for that is together? Because it's not looking good. Well, they fight on ourselves, inside house fighting, and there's nothing good. When they see things that they happen on our can't, we can't focus on your in-house problems. So what do you say to them? What in your word for this day we don't come and don't come to pass? What you be asked for don't come to pass? What would you say to those young Sierra Leoneans?
The one thing where I tell them, I wrote something in our internal forum. I even give them the joke. I say, well, at the retire, I say, struggle continues. The aspiration to do better should continue, but it should also allow the institution to govern itself. You cannot do them just by enjoining or injunction or whatever. We win some, we lost some. Let's sit down, let's recalibrate, and let's move on. Let's get, and this I'm talking purely from a partisan point of view. Let's recalibrate and make the APC better. Work for make the APC better. No, not just make say na fet no more. No. Now we don't win some. Now we take what we don't win, implement them, and at the same time try for aspire for improve what you will not be able to get. Maybe time will tell when some people like say somebody can win a 70-year-old, he's saying a youth, maybe they say with about by yourself now, you don't say no, so you know, today we might have lost the argument on that, but don't spoil the party because of that small point we know. We have election, we have term limits, and not get them for sure, but I think we have separated the position of chairman and leader. I think we have. Okay, so if we not, you know, I not say it, but I think we have because it was in the constitution. So you know, we've gotten some things that we wanted. There are some things that we didn't get. Tomorrow morning, Anes Koroma will still be the chairman and leader by the old regime, but he's gone. Even himself, the talker, say he left. You know, not just follow some of the advice we can say, just give up anyway, let somebody else come. So that will take the focus out of you. But you know, really. But Anes is a spent force that we go put up in the rafters. You know, in American sports, the gymnasium can get them rafters them big player them. SALONE, you know what they talk about. When they put them then they hang them. You know, now they go hang them, put them picture there. Sheikh Stephen and Camara Taylor Skoroma, you know, you are respectable people who are around the world who tell you not thank you. The young ones, you all try for keep them going and make them better. But don't fight through to kill yourself. And that I tell them before I can in the internal memo.
So, well, we want to say thank you for helping us understand. Mr. SALONE, I don't know, you've been sitting for a long time. I don't know if you anything before we thank Mr. Tarley for come and enlighten we today, because I learned something today saying I begin and I remember I get for bring and come back because I want to say I hear the young people I want to talk on elections are coming. We go forget you for come back for can talk on the APC side because I didn't know you were APC. I just thought you were, you know, kind of thing, but good to know because in diversity we get everybody and everywhere and every side. You know, we want to say what is the potential, who's the next, you know, that you can I pick, I mark, just like we can make a call, you know, like when I can do a bet, who that will lead the next, because we have so many people right now fighting for the
before Mr. SALONE, Mr. SALONE come in, let me just say this. One thing I go say with any degree of certainty about Attorney Tawali, that elect no more elect APC. Okay? He has not benefited not a single penny. He's not. He not run for no position, he not a look. If he be one job, if I don't go long ago for go get job, long ago, with him in what I call a WB Finance, Mr. Momodu Kago. All he wants to see good governance. All. But for say that people that way want power, we want no. Now when he talk na APC, then they listen to him. Because in the good, how they just good governance. But for say you want personal, how they call him, you're the way Kennedy be say, and may not actually America go do what you go do for America, and that's what he is doing. He is not asking what APC go do for. Nobody not in the APC will say, you know, take penny from them rather than he spend. Yes, made to carry banter, but he was so now that make I really glad. The hope is God will make them listen to people like Karam who say really today. Then they listen to them. I must say you now a genuine fellow. We also have for SALONE before. That much again will attest we company. So let God bless them. The fight continues. Those a democratic SALONE, one who all will be proud of. Okay, one way will carry because at the end of the day, green, whites, and blue now matter. Not to the solid green or the solid red, but the green, whites, and blue. So for all, we send up viewers now, they do so. Bringing people them awareness, even though they tell off winner, then you call names. But we are not deterred. We they do a job by God in power. We will continue. So me really want, don't be hard to Attorney Tarawali for a very good job. and let God continue for a long life, well body, and then continue the good job we do.
Thank you, sir. To you,
Thank you,
Mrs.
sir.
Shilon. You're muted, sir.
Attorney Tarawali, I cannot express enough the depth of we appreciation for you coming on the show and your participation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I hope you will be available from time to time whenever we need you, because we need people of your talent, of your experience, of your connection, just like Mr. Kutubu just said. As far as we know, as far as I know, we've known each other for over 25 years. I have always known you to be a man of integrity. And to be somebody of integrity don't necessarily mean me and you will see eye to eye on all issues. What matters na the intellectual contribution, the depth of the contribution or the exchanges between us. So in William profession, as you know, we get one phrase, reasonable men can differ. So two people, and in fact, the nature of William's job is that we are trained to look at things from all perspectives. That's why a good prosecutor can be a good defense attorney. A good defense attorney can be a very good prosecutor, because we are trained to be able to see things from one direction, from more than one direction. So thank you so much for coming and enlightening we. For some of the people that will not come on time, the earlier discussion was on the Tusim issue, the Yom Kippur case, the implication and the ramification of the Yom Kippur decision by the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone. And Attorney Tarawali helped for make and clear and interpret them for let we understand what actually naturalization or natural citizenship in Sierra Leone mean as opposed to naturalized citizen, and the rights, it break down the differences. So for some of you, way me some, when I will go back on YouTube, Instagram, when I might be able to catch on some of these things. But we welcome you as always, and we thank you so much. Thanks for being part of the show today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. I'm glad to be. I appreciate that. No, thank you.
The last word. What you get for we judiciary system? Your last word.
We need, and Mr. Shilong Gunuda they talk about. We need a John Marshall. That na the first Chief Justice na the US will make the law and declare with law. Now that we need na SALONE. Right now, they all try, they're all good guys. And so there's some of them, most of them are very, very bright. But we need people of goodwill and character. Good character, people with their knowledge, they can do better. Because there are many things to do in that country. Not of us say they try for talk down to them, or they try for make them feel say they're not know. No, these are smart guys. Look, like you and I will cut and shoot. JFK make an argument for arrest immunity from all what they go on through. Believe me, that's the soundest legal argument I've seen in the whole thing. Then get people are not. They feel say maybe na politics. No, it's not politics. There is a question. We get an immunity clause and we constitute. What use is the clause if the immunity only protect you when you're in office, but it not protect you for what you do while you're in office? Those are the questions that needed to be answered. Some people let me feel say na political talk. No, that's a good legal question that the Supreme Court for try for do the same thing they do with the Yom Kippur case, because I think they tried very hard in the Yom Kippur case. The three judges that we are reading, they tried very hard. Make them try and for able for the answer then question here, and cut down on your timing. You get expedited cases. do case justice delayed is not justice. So that me go for tell them, and if I ever get chance again for go day, well I go. I get chance for talk to the Chief Justice, and that I go tell him. You know, I've said it to when Justice Umu Jalo Binde, you know, me and Chuck. So you know that and there have been some of the judges in our court. This court here, I don't know them, but I think two of them, in fact, they're academician we then come after me. So I will talk to them. But we need to study, and we need to open up, and we need to speed justice. You cannot spend 5 years to decide an election petition. By that end, the time done. So that's all. I'm gonna thank you very much.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll bring you back next time.
Well, we go get to bring him back because
well, he always yeah. All right. So thank you very much.
But
thank you.
People, thank you so much, sir. Every single one of you now where they watch from every outlet, una where they watch from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, and all the Twitter. Una, all we say thank you to Una, because without Una we don't have the voice of Salone. This is a platform that let everybody, let we can sit down, let we talk on issues, a home away from home, where we know say the one day where they run the country, then they listen to we they ask them for come, so then they come, so then they no one come. Because we on platforms, so then I don't know, they afraid we small bit because we get some controversialness but we sometimes. But yeah, we have to, the power of the people, knowledge is power, my people. We get for logo because the mind, because we the people, we hear when the judge don't say Judge Towerley don't say, we say we the people, we underestimate with power, we underestimate, we get the power for bring the change, we get the power for put the pressure for let them do the right thing, we get the power. But until we understand with power, until we understand and know and get confidence in we for change. We hear a story when one of our sisters in Canada, they tell we but in Fambul, in border where they walk in one petrol station, one retire because then they get upper hand, it take advantage because no one pay a severance pay, then they go lock them back in a jail. The system is rotten. And you see, they say for go pull on a bail just because the wallet you did it, then go suppress that bail there, then go make that bail there, then go tell you say the judge not there or nobody, you know, all these things. Now they try for talk for change. We need change, we need growth, we need change, because when we grow, when we change, that means we're living, we want good things. What you when they do 5 years, we for left for Duam, we get for grow. Salone get for grow, we get for come back to the days of glory. Some people days a day. They don't understand the days of glory. When people have integrity, when people put the country first, when people, those were the days when things were going right. Yes, we may have leaders, but we have people in these institutions that were men and women of character and moral character and strong integrity. But now, you know, when they see things they happen, we have good people, of course. Color, they say we putting down our people. No, we're not putting down our people. We love our people. But sometimes we get for column, like we say, for now we get the change. Just like when you begin to do bad, you get for tell and say, you're not thief, man, you the thief. If you continue for thief, you go get in trouble, you go try for do anything for pull up by that thief. Now the same thing they do now. So till next week, remember God is love, you know. Things are happening. Corona is out there. The world is going with presidents. Then at the United Nations, they advocate for we. They get for meet with some people. Them they say they waiting and call. On allow pray for Allah succeed, because if he succeed, we all go succeed. If he better, we all go better. So let them put up the right way. We pray for wisdom. We pray for long life. Let God bring. Like you always say, for the shine. Don't jealous me. Go work on yourself tomorrow. You go to shine, me the cloud they permit. So till next week, by God in power, by God in grace, He shall allow any kind of way you they call them. In Jesus' name, any one way you want to say no more. I love you all. Remember, God is love. Till next week, I salute Fedima. I'm out. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Well, goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Okay, we done.